Welcome to Baron von Porkchop's terrifying tales of the macabre, starring Baron von Porkchop, Baroness von Porkchop, Bean, and Sleazy Tom. And now, here's your host, Baron von Porkchop.
Piggies! Thanks for joining us this week. We have a very special episode for you. Yes, we have the famous, or infamous, Andrew Copp on our television show. Oh, how amazing! Oh, terrifying tales of the macabre will never be the same. Should be here any minute.
He's here now, sir.
Oh, he's here! He's here, Piggies. Bring him in, Bean.
Come this way.
Here we go. There's Andy Copp. Oh, it's so
Baron.
good. Just give me a hug.
Oh, this is
yes.
very good. Thank you.
You can have a seat here, sir.
Are we sure this seat is safe?
Yeah, it should be
it's
fine.
quite
Yes.
safe, sir.
Okay,
Sit down.
I'm gonna have a seat
Yes.
here.
Very
All
good,
right.
Very good.
Well, thanks for having me, Baron.
Yes.
This will be good.
No problem, Mr. Copp. Bean, you can go ahead and leave now.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yes.
Pleasure to see
All right,
you,
you
sir.
take care there, Bean.
Thank you,
Talk to you
Mr.
soon.
Oh, he's a crazy one, isn't he?
I love that Bean.
I love him too.
He's a character.
Yeah, he's a little crazy. I love him. I love him.
All right, that Bean's a good guy. He takes care of you.
Of course.
Can I put my Jambo Juice down here?
Oh, yeah,
The deer won't be nipping at it during the show?
He only nips people he don't like.
Okay, well, I don't want him getting drunk off my stuff.
Yeah, okay.
So, I heard we're going to watch one of my movies tonight, Baron. Is this true?
That is very true.
Okay, we're not going to be dipping into the archives and watching Headless Eyes or something. I mean, I would prefer that, truthfully.
Oh God, I hope not.
Well, okay,
Just
Headless Eyes is a
kidding.
classic.
I-
I heard we're going to watch Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain.
That's right. That's true.
It's one of my own films. I guess it's a favorite. I don't know. People like it.
Mm-hmm.
So, should I tell the kids at home what it's about?
Piggies, do you want to know what
Do you
the
guys
the
want to
movie's
know
about?
what that's about? Or do you just want to watch it? Should we talk about it? We should tell them. what
Yeah,
it's
tell
about.
them what
All
it is.
right. It's about a soldier that has post-traumatic stress disorder. He's come home from Iraq, right?
Yes.
And he's a little messed up in the
A
head,
little crazy.
a little crazy, and he thinks he still has to kill people like he was doing in the war.
Oh,
So now he's back at home having to do it.
Mm.
Thinks he's still doing his job.
right.
So that's kind of the base thing.
Okay.
And we'll take it from there. I don't want to give too much away.
Okay, well, Piggies, let's go to Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Go ahead. Yes, he points. Oh, Piggies! How's that film so far? It's amazing, isn't it? Oh, well, Andy Copp, I have a question for you,
Indeed.
if that's okay.
No, let's fire away the questions.
Okay, well,
Better than a friendly fire like in the movie.
tell me about your debut film that you made back in 1998, I believe?
Debuted in 1998, indeed.
Yeah. Mutilation Man.
Indeed, The Mutilation Man debuted in 1998. But I actually started putting that together in about 1993-94. That movie took 5 years to produce.
Oh my.
Yeah, it was a long, long production.
Wow.
So it was a big chunk of my life to make The Mutilation Man. It was shot on film,
Yeah.
16 millimeter and Super 8, which you don't hear much about these days.
Super 8.
Super 8, yes. And starred Tarek Puckett and Jim Van Beber,
Jim Van
Dayton's
Beber.
own Jim Van Beber.
Yes.
Yes, so it was a big production for me. It was my first film, so it was quite an experience to spend 5 years and learn how to do things from the ground up and spend that long of time putting it together. But it debuted in 1998 at the Neon Movies.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good. Ah, interesting stuff. Oh, Piggies, lucky for you, we have a trailer for Mutilation Man. But it's not really for the piglets, so, you might want to put them away, but go do it. Oh, interesting stuff. Mutilation Man. Well, I'm still here with Andrew Copp.
You made it through the trailer.
Yes.
It's impressive.
Very impressive. So, Andy Copp,
Yes, Baron.
tell me more about this Mutilation Man.
Well, as I said before, it was 5 years in the making. Was my first feature film after I was ushered out of film school.
Yes, okay.
To put it in nice terms. But it was sort of my big ball of anger. I was an angry young man, and angry young man. So I was like, I'm going to show the world. I'll make a feature film. So I made this experimental, angry, movie about a man who travels the wastelands doing shows, injuring himself.
Oh my.
And this was at a time, when people weren't running around with like massive tattoos and piercings, and if you can remember a time, well, most of you can't, when it wasn't such a big deal. 1992, 3.
That was taboo.
It wasn't quite taboo, but it wasn't everywhere. You couldn't go to the mall and get a labia piercing like you can now. People didn't have like sleeve tattoos and stuff then. It wasn't everywhere. So it was like this concept was a little more abrasive. It was it was more of an underground thing. So that was my concept. It was based on in a little bit on a story from Kafka called The Hunger Artist that I had read in college about a guy who did traveling shows starving himself.
Oh.
So it was sort of a little bit based in that.
Okay.
But the movie's more about this character trying to confront his childhood and how when he was a child was abused horribly by his father.
Ah, yes.
And so as an adult he abuses himself.
Oh.
And so that's what the movie's really about.
Mhm.
And so I spent 5 years.
5 years, that's a long chunk of time.
Yeah, and it was about $10,000.
$10,000.
Which
So,
most people, that's not much money, but
yes, low budget, right?
low budget, but still all self-financed, all
financed.
multiple jobs and loans, and
Oh,
so it was
yes.
crazy times.
So yes.
But so it was a big undertaking.
It sounds like it,
So
yes.
shot entirely in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh,
So
Dayton,
all in
Ohio
Dayton,
biggies.
Ohio. You can do it in Dayton.
Yes.
So
I must ask. You mentioned Jim Van Beaver before.
yes, Mr. Van Bever.
The Bever. I'm sorry.
Bieber Bever, it's all the
I
same.
apologize.
Okay,
But
he might come after you, yes.
I'm
right.
sorry. I did not mean anything by it. But I know he directed a little film called My Little Satan.
My sweet Satan.
My Sweet Satan. I'm
Yes.
sorry. I'm messing everything up.
That's right.
But,
He'll get the devil on
but,
you if you're not careful.
and I heard you were in that film.
I am in My Sweet Satan. Yes,
Yes.
I worked on My Sweet Satan. That was actually right around the same time. That same
Oh.
time period. I also worked on the Manson Family, which was the same time period. So I did special effects, and when I say I did special effects, I assisted special effects on those films. I was not like the main person by any stretch.
Right,
That was Jim. But I helped him out a lot on his stuff, and knew him quite well at that time. So he, in turn, helped me out, and which is how he ended up in Mutilation Man.
Mutilation Man.
Yeah.
Right. It all comes full circle
Mhm.
right there. Well, I think we're gonna go back to your film, Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain.
If the people at home can take it,
I think the biggies can take it. They've taken much worse.
I think that'd be all right.
Go ahead. Go back to the film.
Ooh, I wonder if the kids at home are handling Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. How you handling it there, kiddies? I think you can do it. Can you take it? Do you think they can take it, Baron?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're taking. Are you taking it well? I'm taking it well. But all this violence, war violence, and crazy man thinking everyone's a terrorist. Wow. Oh, but I must ask you about another one of your films. A little film called Black Sun. Do you recall that one?
No, I don't remember Black Sun at all. It's kind of a blank spot in my memory. No, it's not true. I can tell you all about Black Sun if you'd like. What do you want to know, Baron?
Well, Andrew Copp, now that you ask, what inspired you to create Black Sun?
Well, Baron, that's a good question, actually, and not one I really understand to this day. There's a lot of weird things that go on in my head, and Black Sun was just one of them.
Oh, good.
I don't really know. Even now, I look back at that movie and only am just starting to grasp things in it and what they mean. It was just a follow-up to Mutilation Man. I was still very interested in experimental cinema, and I was trying to grapple with a lot of demons, I think, and they kind of came out on screen. So it's a movie I don't fully understand yet myself, I think. I don't know. It was just something I was trying to nail down some things in my life, and I think they ended up being Black Sun.
Good. Well, if those blasted god dogs would hush for one moment, we could maybe go to a trailer to Black Sun. Bean! Go kill those god dogs for me, please!
Yes, sir. I'll kill them for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Alright, so, let's go to that trailer. Sorry for the unprofessionalism. Sorry. Oh.
911, what's your emergency?
Really deserve to be killed, I don't think God would care too much. Growing up, they suddenly seem okay, especially maybe murder.
Didn't that trailer look appetizing? Oh, I did notice, Andy Copp, that there were several local, very famous personalities in that film.
There's a lot of known people in that movie.
Tell me about them. Tell me about working with them.
I will. Well, I'll tell you all about it there, Baron. This is probably the movie where I first started to gain a little bit of a repertory company, if you will. People I started working with on a regular basis on other stuff. There's those damn hounds, Baron. I think they've attacked Bean. You might want to
poor Bean.
look into that here after we're done. But yes, we're the Reverend Tommy Gunn, for example, from Freak Show Deluxe. I had worked with him on some shock theaters before, but this was the first film I worked with on him. Michelle McLaughlin, who people might later be known as Miss Mia from Neon Madness. You might recognize the illustrious Matt Brassfield as a youngster getting his ass kicked in there. Yes,
I wonder who that is.
Very, very entertaining to see that. There was other people from the independent B-movie scene in there. There was tons of people from the local scene just scattered throughout. Joe McKenzie became a regular player in my film, starting in this. He had a role here, and then he went on to work with me several times. This was a film where people started to work with me quite a bit, over and over. A. Ghastly Ghoul's in there, buried under a ton of makeup. So is Jeff McClellan American, also from the A. Ghastly Ghoul show, also buried under a ton of makeup. So there's people that you know from the Dayton scene. They're in that film.
So you made some new friendships, pretty much, right?
New friendships and old friendships. It was a nice melting pot of people that new and old.
A Ghastly Ghoul, yes, a very good friend of the terrifying tales of the macabre. Yes, but I know you're saving one for, last. And I'm not sure why, because isn't Dr. Creep in Black Sun?
Well, Baron, you're partially right, maybe a little confused on this.
Yeah.
Dr. Creep is not in Black Sun.
Okay.
His alter ego, Barry Hobart, is in
yes.
Black Sun.
Rick Martin tried to explain this to me, but I don't know. Alter egos, I don't know. What is that?
Yeah, it was Rick Martin may have explained it a little long.
Yes, he's a little extended on his
Yeah, he got a little into it. But yes, the alter ego, Barry Hobart, plays sort of the spirit guide, sentient being character in Black Sun. So it's not Dr. Creep, though God rest his soul, he's always with us in spirit. Of course. But it is Barry Hobart that is one of the main roles in Black Sun.
Oh, okay.
That's the deal with that.
I understand now. Okay, thanks for clearing that up.
That's right.
Thank you. Well, Biggies, I think we're going to go back to, what movie are we watching again?
We're going to be watching Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain, and I think there's
That's it.
some exciting stuff coming up now.
Oh, is there? Yes.
I think so.
Yes,
yeah.
so get ready, get riveted. Maybe pop some popcorn,
Pop some popcorn.
Just
That's a
don't
good
miss
idea.
Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Go back to it. Great stuff.
Oh, Baron, I really appreciate you having me here. I'm having a great time. This is really fun to get to talk about my old movies like this. This is good.
Hello, sir.
Well, hey, Bean, that's really cool to have you around there.
Oh, it's wonderful. I love your hat, sir.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, Bean, you're really
I'm sorry.
cool.
Am I squeezing too tight,
No,
sir? Okay, I can loosen up a little if you'd like. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Is
yeah,
it
that's,
softer?
well, that's actually kind of nice.
Okay, sir.
Well, I kind of like that actually. That's all right. Yeah. Keep doing that. Keep
Okay,
doing that. That's
I'll do
okay.
that.
I kind of
What?
like that.
Is it
oh,
hard?
yeah. No, that's good.
Oh.
Wow, that's.
Oh,
yeah,
how surprising.
Bean! What are you doing? Stop touching Andy Copp! Get out of here! I can't believe every time, Bean!
Sorry,
get out!
sir.
Get out!
I'll leave.
Out! Go on!
I'm leaving.
Go on! Go! Keep going!
See you later, Bean.
Oh,
Bye,
jeez!
Mr. Cobb.
I left you $5.
Thank you.
What? I'm so sorry, Duke. I'm so sorry. He's crazy. I don't know what to do with him. Half the time he's just. Anyways, Piggies, just go to some trailers. Oh, gosh. Piggies! Oh, I hope you're enjoying Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Those rapid killer just killing all those people. Oh, that was kind of scary. Oh, but anyway, let's get back to Andy Copp. Hey, there he is! He's petting my stag.
Oh, Baron.
I think I made
that's
a funny.
filthy.
I think I made a funny there.
Yeah, no, that's how I got through some of these movies, was petting the stags.
No. No. Anyways, now we've been talking about your film career.
We have.
Yes.
Indeed.
Black Sun, the other one.
That one we don't talk about.
Mutilation Man.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Well, let's get into your television career.
It's true. I've worked in television for 15 years almost.
Oh my! I had no idea. Well, this is why we have these interviews.
That's right.
Yeah,
I've been there for a long time.
Yes. Well, we were talking about Dr. Creep earlier, and I know that you worked with him
Yes.
on New Shock Theater.
This is a true statement, a
Yes.
true fact. We did.
Tell me, how was it working with them?
It was exciting. It was
Yes.
a tremendous experience. One of the most fulfilling experiences I've had.
Yes.
And I appreciate you asking about TV because I've done hundreds and hundreds of hours of TV, including the New Shock Theater, and it's
Yes.
not something I get to talk about much. Working with Dr. Creep was an incredible experience.
Yes.
Myself and my partner Rick Martin, we brought Dr. Creep back to TV in 1999 with the New Shock Theater.
And we are so glad you did.
And I'm glad that you are glad. A lot of people are glad. They always come up to us and we're like, we're so glad that happened.
Yes.
And it was on the air for, gosh, I don't even remember how long, 4 or 5 years, somewhere in that ballpark. Did 20-some episodes. And
Wow.
it was terrific because it was like from the get-go with those first few episodes, he was right back on his game.
Wow.
And it was...
'Cause he's, legend.
He was, and it was like working with that legend, and it was great. Myself and Rick, we co-wrote those episodes with Dr. Creep, and we directed them and produced them, and there were several that were too big to ever get produced, that were too epic in scope. They would have cost too much money, but
Of course.
we
Yes.
couldn't buy that many army men and things.
Seeing how, much horror hosts make, a
Right.
year. Yes, I don't think we could do that on our
Yeah,
project.
the taxation scale on horror hosts is outrageous.
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah. But it was a colossal experience, and it meant a lot to me to do it.
Yes, well, besides the New Shock Theater, I know there's other television programs that you're associated with also. Tell
This
us
is true.
about those ones.
Oh, I for many years, even longer than the New Shock Theater, did a review show, a cult and B-movie review show called
Wow.
Neon Madness.
Oh, the biggies might know.
They
Neon
probably know that
Madness.
show, which was also a website and a print fanzine for many years.
Nice.
And that went on I started that in 98 maybe, 97, 98, and then around there. And that went until 2006, 2007.
So a long period.
Yeah,
So
a long time. For most of that, it was just me in front of the camera with my wall of videos, and I would just review stuff.
Sounds great to me. I love Andy Copp.
Yeah, a lot of people liked it. And then in the later period, Michelle McLaughlin, aka Miss Mia, kicked on there and became my co-host, and we did 4 or 5 episodes that were just tremendous. She added a lot to the show,
Okay.
and a lot of sex appeal and a lot
Of course.
So yeah, it was sort of like having an Elvira
Oh,
co-host with me. It was
yes.
really awesome. But then when she came on, we really expanded it. It was more than just movies. We talked about books and we talked about magazines, and she had her little area where she bitched and complained about things, and it was nice. So that was one a lot of people. I still get stopped in stores and stuff, and people are like, "Oh, I remember you." I had a prosecutor for the county stop me once, and when I was working, and because he had watched the show, and he was like, I saw you on TV and you were talking about Battle Royale, and how can I get that movie? So it's like people watched that. It was awesome.
Is there any way that we could see those again, or is it impossible?
I'll get them together so people can see them. Yeah, there's some of them are on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Some of them are on YouTube. If you go to TOPO872 on YouTube, several of them are on there.
Okay, but can I go back to the New Shock Theater, because I know you can get those too at
It's
some
the game swap.
Game swap.
Spit swap, something like
game
that.
swap.
I think it is, yeah.
Somewhere in a Kettering area.
In that area, you can probably pick those up, yes.
Yeah.
And so, but we'll get some of that other stuff out there somehow. So, and then I did some other experimental shows called Psychotic Feed.
Psychotic Feed.
Yes, which was just sort of like my original plan for that was I had a box of tapes, and I was like, what if I just randomly cut these up to music and just cut them together, and what would happen? And then I ended up that started in 1998, and I still to this day occasionally do that. And I have 26 episodes of that.
Wow, can you not get those either yet?
You gotta be in the know
No,
to get those.
you have to know the Andy Copp person.
That's exactly how that goes, because now those don't air anymore. They got a little too hot for TV as they went along.
Okay,
So,
understand.
yeah.
Not for the piglets, is what you're saying.
No, the first 10, 12 episodes are fine. But after that, the box of tapes started to have other tapes involved that weren't probably safe.
I get you. I get
You
you.
follow me.
Yeah, I follow you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bean was slipping me tapes, I think, maybe. Yeah,
Oh, Bean.
yeah, you troublemaker.
Yeah.
So.
So, anything else? Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, I've worked in TV, like I said, for 15 years.
15
Yeah,
years? That's
a
long...
So, I've directed, things that you wouldn't think about. I've directed city council meetings. I direct, events in town. I go, you'll see me hanging out doing, the Blues Fest and the Reggae Fest. And, that's my job.
Just like
So,
huge array of things.
right,
that you have
I've
dabbled in
done,
there.
the former mayor's TV show. And so it's like, I'm not all, I love the horror and independent films, but as a job, TV has been my job. So there's, you might be surprised flipping TV one day. You might see my name on something that totally is not what you expect.
Okay,
So,
yes. Well, maybe we will. Maybe we will, piggies.
it's possible.
But I think we're going to go back to the movie.
And
Quite
it's good. Yeah, I think they should go back to the movie.
Probably, yes. Thank you for talking about your television career.
Sure.
But I think we're going to back to the movie. Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Go. Go. Ah, piggies! Welcome back. We're still here with the amazing, the beautiful Andy Copp. Yes. I think we're going to touch a little bit on his other movie that he has. We're going back to the film, went to the television. We're going to go back to the films. I think we're going to touch on the Atrocity Circle a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Atrocity Circle.
I will tell you all about the Atrocity Circle. The Atrocity Circle has an interesting genesis, actually. It started as another project. My former distributor for The Mutilation Man, a company that used to be called Sub Rosa Entertainment, had this line of films that were going to be extreme films. They wanted underground filmmakers to make extreme horror films for extremely low to no budgets. That was kind of the key there.
Oh.
They were gathering people together and having them make these no-budget horror films.
Right.
I was, since I was already involved with them, I was one of the people that was asked to do this.
Right.
So I was tapped to do it and was starting to make a film called Her Name Was Samantha.
Okay.
And that was the beginning of this project. But there was some bad blood, we'll say, going on with the distributor at that point with their handling of Mutilation Man.
Right.
So the contract on that got terminated. But since there was a mediary in there, the people that made the film Scrapbook, Eric Stanzi, who was a good friend of mine, was kind of producing that whole series. And I'm still good friends with them, that whole crew. He was nice enough to kind of step in and say, look, you can still have all of your, intellectual property back.
Right.
It just has to have a different title.
Of course, yes.
Right,
Yes.
since they kind of owned the title we were working on. So, Her Name Was Samantha became the Atrocity Circle, and I was allowed to finish it on my own.
So you're saying it was originally Her Name Was
Samantha, which is actually, that title was a reference to one of my favorite filmmakers, Roger Watkins, who made Last House on Dead End Street, had a porno film called Her Name Was Lisa. And so it was kind of a reference, like a wink and a nod to him. So we unfortunately couldn't have that. But
that's very fascinating. It's fascinating to see your inspiration for that film, Atrocity Circle. But I'm dying, if you will, to know the plot of Atrocity Circle. Please tell me. I need to know.
okay. Well, see, this is what we got. The Atrocity Circle was once again part of that whole extreme underground horror series. So what they wanted was something that fit that mold. So it's a rape revenge movie, not unlike I Spit on Your Grave, Last House on the Left, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So what it's about is a character who is in his 20s in med school,
Right.
and because he's in med school, has an experience that triggers a repressed memory. And that repressed memory is when he was a teenager, he saw his friends gang rape someone.
Ooh.
Yes, who happened to be a
Nasty
close friend
business.
of theirs. Yes, it's an unpleasant business. But now that he remembers this, he sets out to find all of the people that he was formerly friends with and make them pay for what they had done. or what they had did. That's some poor grammatical English going on there.
It doesn't matter.
But you know how that goes. So that's the basic plot of it. But of course, in doing that, he finds that a lot of these folks have grown up to become very unpleasant people in their adult lives, even dangerous. And so it's not what he expected. And the movie is not what you expect. It goes places that a lot of people don't. It's actually my best reviewed movie. It's a movie that has gone a lot of places. It's played at a couple film festivals. Did well.
Oh, it was in several festivals. That's very good. I mean, that get your name out there quite well then. Yes, and I also heard that the author of Nightmare USA gave it an amazing review. Is this true?
It's true. Yes, Stephen Thrower, who was the author of Nightmare USA, the book you just mentioned, was doing press for that book, and that's an amazing book, by the way. If people at home haven't seen or read Nightmare USA, please do. It's amazing. But when he was doing press for that book, he was asked if there was any modern films, modern horror films that fit the grindhouse aesthetic, you know, that had that modern grindhouse 70s feel. And he, you know, you would think he would mention Hostel or whatever.
Right.
But instead he mentioned The Atrocity Circle.
Amazing.
Yeah, totally amazing.
Yes.
You know, this little tiny, $500 movie. Ooh. And he said that it was the only film he had seen in recent years that truly fit the grindhouse aesthetic and the feel of a true 70s grindhouse film.
That's great. That's
yeah,
great.
It was one of the best things people had mentioned about the movie.
Great.
So.
Oh, that's amazing that you got such a great review. Oh, I know what the biggies want to see. They want to see a trailer of Atrocity Circle. And then after that, we will go back to the feature film, which I believe you know what it's called. Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Go on. Get out of my face.
When I was 17, I saw a rave happen.
Get down there. Come on. You just sit right back there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Jesus Christ. Hurry up. Get in. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, go. There we are.
Get some.
Take a look, motherfucker.
It's time to pay up. I know you remember raping.
Then I guess you're gonna die in your own kitchen. Wait.
Oh, God, no.
Why you'd even want to, or why you'd even care after all of this time. You know, you could have had a normal life, but no, you wanted to come and make something of yourself. Let me tell you what, you're not some superhero, you're not some masked avenger, you're just a scrawny little miserable runt, puss and just like you've always been. And now, not only are you gonna pay for it, but so is everyone else you've ever loved.
you're enjoying Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. But I have the director here, Andy Copp. Yes, yes. Oh.
Would you mind for a second, Baron, if we talk about what is actually my favorite of the films I have directed?
Your favorite one?
My favorite one of the films I have directed.
Well, now I just need to know what it is.
It is Nephew of Shaft.
Nephew of Shaft?
Nephew of Shaft, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of a little scene masterpiece, I think, of my work. It's a short film.
Short.
And it was made actually for my public access work.
Yes.
It was I did a dinner for DATV one year, and for that dinner we had to do segments that were like throws to the awards. It was like, this little moment would throw to an award and someone won an award.
Oh,
and so, it's kind of one of those things. And instead of doing that, instead of like having somebody go, oh, and you've won Best Spiritual Producer, I made a little movie around it. So every moment was a scene of the movie. And I decided I was going to make a blaxploitation film.
No, okay, yes.
The second love of my life, blaxploitation films. So I made Nephew of Shaft, and I used people that I worked with and volunteers at DATV as the cast. And it has this little whole political anti-corporate thing going on, because at the time that we were starting to feel the heat of AT&T looking down our shoulder trying to get rid of public access.
Oh my!
And it's great. It's one of my favorite things. It's funny. It has all the blaxploitation references.
Nice.
It's a treasure trove of that stuff, and I think it's the most successful of my films because it does everything it sets out to do. But because it's funny, it has all the blaxploitation stuff, but it's political and it's very entertaining. But it's short enough that it doesn't outstay its welcome. So it's like my favorite of my stuff.
Great. That's so interesting. I didn't even know.
It's not one people have seen. It used to be on YouTube, but because it has copyrighted music in it, it keeps getting removed.
Copyrighted music.
Yeah, I know. But it couldn't work without it. It's like, if you didn't have like the Shaft theme and all that stuff, it just wouldn't be the same. So so it's one that, if people want to see, it's out there if you know where to look.
Yes, which would be...
I don't know if I can say that or not, but just you got to know where to look.
Yeah, you got to know what to look.
But it's out there. So Nephew of Shaft's my favorite of my films.
Well, there you have it, piggies. You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Favorite film of Andy Copp that he's made?
Nephew of Shaft.
Nephew of Shaft. Yes. Well, now I must know that we got
the big question of the day.
The biggest question of the night, even.
That's right.
What inspired you to make Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain?
Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain came from two things. One, the Atrocity Circle was quite successful.
Ah, yes.
It was quite successful.
As you said before.
Like I said, it got in some festivals. It was the only DVD I ever put out that sold its whole run.
Yes.
So I can't say it made a lot of money. It made a little bit of money, but it got good reviews. People liked it.
Yes.
So I had to follow it up with something quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha! Quickly, didn't happen.
No, yeah.
But people were wanting something else from me. So I wanted to do another sort of 70s style, grindhousey sort of thing. So
Give the people what they like.
Exactly. So I was going to do, a slasher sort of film, a giallo sort of thing. Two, this was during the height of the Bush administration, the height of the war in Iraq. And I was pissed off. I'm not happy about it. And I was not happy about, soldiers coming home and not being supported and what was going on with that. So what a lot of people didn't know at the time was that soldiers were coming home and their benefits were gone. It was like
terrible.
Yeah, it was very terrible. And so we had kids going to war for our country, but then coming home and not having their psychiatric benefits and their health benefits, and I was irate. But I don't have the funds to go make a documentary about that. I don't have the means to do it. What I do have the means to do is make a horror film about it.
Yes.
So that's what I did.
That's what you're good at.
And it's what I'm good at. So that's what I did, and that's what we had.
Good.
So.
And that's what came out of it. Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain.
That's what we came out of it. Quiet Nights. And it's a weird movie. The reaction to Quiet Nights was not what I'd hoped for.
No, yes.
It was not what I'd hoped
Mixed
for.
Feelings?
Mixed reviews, very mixed reactions. I think that my cast is really good. I'm very happy with my cast in the film. I think that Lauren, who plays the Psycho, is very good.
Yes.
And I think Amanda, who plays his nemesis, who plays the female soldier, is terrific.
Okay.
But I think reviews to the movie were very hurtful.
Hurtful,
yeah. And they singled out my cast especially, and that really...
That's not very nice.
It was not nice at all. I mean, if people had singled me out for myself for things, which they didn't. I got singled out for my script a lot, and my script got great marks in almost all the reviews.
Right.
But they singled out my cast unfairly, which kind of pissed me off.
Understandably, yes.
And I think it was unfair all the way around. So that was one of the things that with this movie that is stuck in my craw, is I really think that the reviews were unkind in an unfair way.
Of course, yes.
And this is the first time I've talked about that publicly,
really?
Baron. It really is. So
well, that's good.
If people
get some emotion out of it.
Yeah, I wish that people had been more fair. Not if they said it was a bad movie, that'd been okay. But they singled out my cast unfairly, and I've always been upset about that. And so it's not sold as well as the Atrocity Circle,
right?
Because it's not a tits and ass movie. And
that's not all there is to a movie.
No, and you know, I mean, I'm okay with that. I love those kind of movies, Baron. Don't get me wrong, and I don't mind making those kinds of films.
Yes.
But this wasn't that movie. This was a very serious subject, and I tried to be that way, and the reviews reflected a lot of anger that it wasn't.
Right.
Which was very strange indeed.
Right. Yes, it sounded like it's very close to your heart, the subject matter.
It was. I went about this in a very serious manner and didn't get a lot of return for it.
Yeah, didn't get a lot of serious return for it. Yes.
No, which was sort of it's been a sad thing for me. So hopefully the next project down the road will rectify that in some way.
Yes.
But I'm proud of Quiet Nights. I'm proud of what it is.
Okay. So. Good. Yes, I'm sure the piggies are loving it too, aren't you?
I hope
the
so.
piggies are loving it. They love everything I do. So.
I think so. I think they will like it.
Yes. All right, piggies. So, let's go back to the end of the film here. Get ready for it. It's Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Go. Oh, there it was, piggies! The end of Quiet Nights of Blood and Pain. Oh, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Oh, it's such a great film. Oh, and thank you so much, Mr. Andy Copp, for coming on my show and talking with me.
Well, Baron, thank you so much for having me here. I loved being here. This was awesome. I loved talking about my career and that you were willing to show this much maligned film. And I just, from the bottom of my heart, I loved being here. I love you and I love the show. Thank you so much.
So, Andy Copp, I have 2 more very pressing questions for you before we leave. All right? The first is, what are you working on, if anything, right now?
Well, Baron, I am indeed working on a film right now. I've been working on it for almost 2 years, and it is, believe it or not, one of the most serious projects I've been working on ever. It is called Church of the Eyes, and it is another experimental piece of cinema, almost like the third piece from Mutilation Man to Black Sun to this one. And it's a partnership with a guy named Kevin Jones, who's a musician from Indiana. He came to me with this project and we partnered up. And it is almost a rock opera experimental film, if you will.
Oh my.
About a guy whose girlfriend dies in a car accident, and because he is in such deep spiritual despair, he sets out on a journey to find and kill God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Serious stuff.
Serious stuff.
Serious.
Yes. So that's my project right now. We've been struggling with it for 2 years. It's an immense project.
Dear God, you have taken from me everything I have ever loved. And now, I'm coming for you.
Ah!
Andy Copp, that is exciting news, piggies. Did you hear that? Church of the Eyes. Ooh, sounds sinister, almost. Yes, very serious stuff. Oh, but, Andy Copp, this is the question I've been waiting for. This is the second question in a series of questions that I had to... Okay, I'm rambling. Anyways, the question is, how was it working on The Boys in Blue, the 1982 film, The Boys in Blue? I have to know. I know you were assistant directing that with alongside the director Val Geist, and I got to know, how was it working on that? It's a hysterical film. Please let me know. I need to know. Huh?
I got nothing, Baron. But Boys in Blue, no. 82, no, nothing.
Nothing?
No more Boys in Blue. I don't really think I was involved in that.
No?
No.
Nothing?
No, not that one. Maybe you got me confused with someone else, perhaps?
I don't think so.
No, maybe a guy named Fraser, maybe?
I thought that was your first name. Fraser Andrew Copp, right?
No.
Oh.
No, not me.
Oh, Andy Copp, I'm sorry. I'm confused, and I still believe it was him. I just confused, But piggies, next week we have White Pongo. Yes, let's cut to a little clip of that. Whew. Well, thank you for joining us again, piggies. And thank you, Andy Copp, for being on my show.
Well,
yes.
Thank you for having me, Baron.
Of course.
It's much fun.
Anytime.
It's good times.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Anyways, so I hope you tune in next week, little piggies. Yes, for White Pongo.
Oh, I like that one.
You like that one?
I like the White Pongo.
Good. Well, hopefully you tune in.
I'm gonna tune in. I'll watch it.
Bye-bye, piggies. Oh, yes, a very fascinating career you've had.
It's been good. It's been good to me. I haven't made any money, but it's been good to me.
Well,
a lot of fans. They're nice
Yes.
people.
Well, you know, as horror hosts, we don't really make a whole lot of money, so I haven't...
You gotta get the money where you can find it.
That's true. I have one little question, I was just wondering how you got your own brand of hot fries. Tell me.
That's not me, Baron. It's a common mistake, but it's not me.
It looks just like you. You
it's
sure that's
maybe,
not you?
I think it's the hat, perhaps. You're
No,
getting you confused.
no, it's you. Tell me. Come on.
I'm hot like the fries, but it's not me. I don't think.
It's your Uncle Baron. You can tell me.
I mean, it's all right. You know who you need to talk to about getting your own thing. I mean, maybe you can do. You got some ideas about something like this?
Yeah, Baron Von Porkchop's pork grinds.
Okay.
Amazing.
You need to call Dale Grow.
Dale Grow. Okay.
And he's got him a sweatshop. With little kids that make these things. To follow through with it. If you're gonna do this, you gotta go the whole route.
I guess if you make money.
He will. They cut the fries themselves, or they kill the piggies for what you're doing.
Yes.
And they pull the guts out. They're only about 4 or 5 years old, but they do the whole thing. And then they package them right up, and you two can make about 2 pennies a bag.
Okay, well maybe. I'll call him. Yes.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Dale Grow.
Good guy. Yes.
Yeah, good fella.
Okay.
Good fella, just like the mafia.